Hey everybody, welcome to the beautiful Barber Motorsports Park here in Alabama. Now, this is one of my favorite racetracks anywhere in the world. If you've ever been, it's like racing at a country club almost. And also, if you've never seen the Barber Motorcycle Museum, total bucket list stuff if you're into motorcycles. It's just incredible. Anyway, to my right, this guy right here is Joe Carpenter. Now, Joe runs the American distributorship for Kramer Motorcycles. This thing right here. It's if you don't know much about Kramer, I don't blame you. They're a little obscure, I guess. Strictly performance racing motorcycles. Now, it's kind of like what I guess Aprilia started out to be back in the day. You know, companies that started out as racing bikes. There's very few of them left these days. Yeah. You know, like they don't really exist anymore because production motorcycles are so good. And then you ride one of these things, and you realise that they still have a long way to go. So, anyway, Joe, let's have a bit of a chat. Like, tell us a bit about Kramer, how it all came about, how you came to bring them in as well.
Well, Kramer Motorcycles was founded by Marcus Kramer. Back when he was working for KTM, decided he wanted to build a road race bike, and he wanted a single cylinder, wanted something lightweight, something simple, easy to maintain, and he developed the Evo2 as we know it today, or what it turned into. And that's kind of where they started and grew from there. We came into the fold fairly early on, and we had brought in some motorcycles for a few of our customers, and from that point just grew into the U.S. division. And it's been great because we were able to really get in at the ground floor and really help with development and figuring out the bike and figuring out how to make it better. And the nice thing about a small company is if something's wrong, you can make a change as long as everybody's on board and it's a positive direction to go. Yeah. It's usually not hard to get something switched, whereas a bigger company, that's a lot harder to pull off. So it's been great. You know, we've been able to get things ramped up pretty heavily with our new production, what we'll talk about here on the new two-cylinder motorcycle we're excited about. It's the same thing. We're starting over kind of from square one and working on developing a new bike and perfecting it. That's what we're here this weekend to do.
Yeah. So you started out with the single. So Kramer's been going for what, 10, 12 years, I think.
Getting not quite that long. Getting close to 10 though.
10.
Yeah.
Right. So that started out with the 690 Duke.
Yep.
Various iterations of the 690 Duke.
Yep.
And then. So that bike is still for sale, though.
For sure, yeah. The 690 are what is known as the HKR Evo2 is still a production bike. We're not changing anything about it. We're keeping it moving forward. It's still an amazing option for everyone. Yeah. We actually one of our customers just set a new lightweight lap record up in Brainerd, Minnesota.
You broke my lap record.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah.
By half a second.
By a lot.
God.
Yeah, blew out of the water.
God.
And so a new lightweight lap record, which we were excited about. It's a proper lightweight bike.
Yeah. So anyway, the single cylinder bike was a very big success. I mean, yeah. We rode it in the 5-hour last year.
Yeah.
Had a great time. Won the thing. Yep. Smashed everybody.
Yep. Just won that race again this last weekend. So yeah. Same bike even.
That is literally the town bike, that one, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Been around.
So last year they had the 790 in KTM's range, but you guys didn't build. You did have a 790 then?
We did have a 790 prototype with our friend Troy Sion from motorcycle.com. He rode that here, and that was our debut. It was a prototype. We wanted to show it off, say, hey, we're going to do something. We're going to build a cool bike. And in the meantime, KTM started to develop the 890, and we immediately switched gears and switched over to building the 890. Very similar. It's a very similar engine. It's interchangeable to a certain extent, but all of it's different when it comes to development. You've got more horsepower. You got a different calibration. There's all that stuff that's different with this new engine. So we had to kind of take our time and do it right. And it took us a little longer than we wanted, but we didn't want to do it unless we did it right. So.
Yeah. So let's have a bit of a look at this thing. How much is this thing, first off?
So we got the GP2 890R at $32,450. So it's a premium bike at a premium price, but it comes with all the good stuff that you'd expect.
Yeah. So yeah, you're definitely not buying junk for that money. You're getting a proper race bike for this. bespoke race bike. These are basically made to order, aren't they?
To a certain extent, yeah. I mean, for the GP2 production, unfortunately, with the current state of things in the world, things are a little slow to move right now with production, with COVID affecting everyone as it has. But we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. We are rolling into full production next year, but it'll be limited on the GP2. Our Evo2 production, which is a little more streamlined and perfected at this point through the years, that's going to be a lot more fast track. But yeah, we will build to order, so like things like frame color and body color and what have you are all things that are able to be changed and worked with. Obviously, there's order times and windows and all that stuff. We would like to get that information in by, but nonetheless, you can kind of configure it how you wish.
Where is the factory, by the way?
It's southern part of Germany, and it's about a 20-minute drive from the border of Austria, so down in Bavaria.
Okay, cool. All right, so you get an 890 Duke, 890 Duke base motor.
Yep.
By the way, if you want to see the review for the 890 Duke, up there, I'll put the link for it so you can check it out. I love that bike, absolutely love it. 890 Duke base motor. Then what happens?
So we build our own chassis. It's a full chrome alloy tube chassis. It's got a really cool feature over the Evo2. It has adjustable frame rake, so we can do plus or minus 1 degree of frame rake angle or stem angle in half a degree increment. Then also we carry over our adjustable offset triple clamps. So we pair that front end up with a set of WP's Apex forks, which is the closed chamber pressurized fork. It's a part we started using last year. It's been great. It's got of course a little bit different calibration for the 890 over the 690, but it's been awesome. That fork's a huge upgrade. Up front we got the Brembo's Dilemma calipers along with our Motormaster rotors, and finishing it off with Dimag wheels.
Yep.
And on the back we're running say Dimag UP7X, and it's a 6-inch.
They're the forged aluminum.
Yep. Stainless steel, full stainless steel exhaust system. It's proper race pipe out of the box, and it's not like you need to switch anything. I mean, this is a race bike for racing, so there's no emissions to take off. There's no pipes to change. You just get on the right thing. One of the big things we did with the 890 is we now have the AIM partnership for the AIM dash and data acquisition. So we're using a TFT AIM dash, and that allows us to display all the data you'd want. It allows you to download your data such as lap times and all of your telemetry data that you'd expect through the standard AIM software. It's again making a proper race bike out of it. We're lucky to use the 890. It's a great platform. As you said, the 890 Duke is a great bike. And it's a hard thing to make better, but we feel like we did that.
I mean, you got two very different servings of the market with the 890 Duke. Like you can throw it into this, or you can have a bitch and street bike. And I mean, I think that as an 890, the 890 as a street bike is one of the best bikes you can get. I mean, absolutely love the thing. This one doesn't have traction, does it?
So traction control, as of now, is not enabled on our 890. It is going to be something that's going to be coming in the future. There will be an update coming forth for traction control on the 890 for us.
Right. Okay. I mean, awesome brakes, pretty quick shifter, eventual traction control, ripping little engine. What you dynoed this thing? What did you get?
So at the rear tire on a Dynajet dyno, it's 118. And about 69 foot-pounds. And that's real numbers at the tire on a Dynajet dyno. So it's rowdy.
I mean that's
rowdy.
Basically like a nice super sport level, I guess. I mean that's Moto America kind of super sport bikes. They're producing around that level, so that's kind of what it is, really. But you're getting a very different product with this, aren't you?
For sure. I mean the fact that it's a lot lighter. I mean, that's just the reality. The bike is extremely light.
What's this way with the tank?
Low 300s. It's light. I mean, it's not dirt bike weight, but it's close.
That's so sick. Are there thoughts with Kramer of perhaps taking the 1290 motor and building a real monster bike?
That's been thrown around a bunch, and it's tough. The 1290 is really good, and so we kind of like how do you make it better? And it'd have to be a complete package change, and it's tough. The big challenge in that in that 1000cc or that more of that unlimited class of racing is there's rules involved like any racing. So superbike rules need to be street legal, so that stuff. And frankly, that's a hard class to be good in.
Yeah,
200 horsepower. Hats off to all the OEMs out there that are putting out some absolute monster of motorcycles in that class. We want to focus on what we've always focused on, which is building a bike that's turnkey for not only a professional racer or just a track day enthusiast.
Yeah.
Something that someone can get on, use, and be fast on and confident on, and that's not gonna scare them.
Yeah.
We don't want to make a bike that's going to be too intimidating, but we want to make a bike that's fast.
Yeah.
And I think we hit the nail on the head most of the time on that.
Yeah. I can't wait. Oh, it's going to be sweet. This sun's going down, as you can probably tell, so we're going to pack these things up and come back tomorrow. Because it's racing, I won't be doing any talking while I'm riding, obviously. We'll just be doing a wrap up. But until we're going to go out then and give her a big squeeze. Hopefully the weather, fingers crossed, is going to hang with us, but it's not looking good.
Yeah,
It's not looking good at all. Anyway, we'll have a run and we'll come back and I'll let you know what it's like. Oh, well, that sucked. Poor old Joe's bike. I wrecked it. I broke it. Broke it though, trying to win second place and trying to go for it, and I ended up doing it. So sorry, bro.
No worries, man. I'm glad you're all right. The bike crashed how we wanted it to, so I held up pretty well considering a pretty good low side. So it'll be sortable. We're not worried.
All right, I'm gonna get out of this gear and we'll do a wrap up. Oh well, that certainly wasn't the way I wanted to end this weekend's racing. You can see I'm in the media centre at the moment because I couldn't do the talking bit because there's just so much noise going on, being classic motorcycle race meeting. But yeah, look, it was a fantastic weekend riding, even though it was basically just pissing down with rain pretty much all weekend. We got one dry session, or one dry day, sorry, on Thursday. We really got to give the Kramer 890 a squeeze, and man, it's just such a good bike. And this is the thing, it's like it's a purpose-built bike. It's designed for racing. It's not a bike that is sort of developed out of a road bike with all the sort of concessions that you have to have a road bike. This is in the same thinking, I guess you could think, as like Moto2, 3, MotoGP. It's certainly not a Grand Prix bike. Like some people look at it and go, oh, it's a GP bike. It's absolutely not a GP bike. There's no classes you could ever race it in as a GP bike. The only thing that's GP-ish about it is that it's purpose built for the task at hand, which is really cool, you know, and that's such a rare thing these days, to have that kind of stuff at your disposal. Yeah, it's no kidding, it's a pricey bike. But hey, if you're looking at that kind of bike as something like a 10-year project, for example, and you're doing it in, like we're at Armour doing those races, and you can put it in Battle of the Twins and things like that. You know, gentleman lady racer, like whatever you want to call it. It's not a pro real level bike, that's the other thing. Like, you're not really going to find pro race series where you can run this thing. That's kind of part of the appeal. Like, it's a purpose-built thing for a certain sort of mindset and a certain demographic of people. Yeah, I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. Anyway, enough of that raving. Strong points. I'm going to take the engine out of it at the moment because they didn't build it. Strong points is braking stability and corner entry. You can brake so late on that thing and you can push so hard on that front. It's just like, I mean, you don't get that kind of feeling with regular production bikes. It's really like tangible feel, be forceful with it, you can carry high corner speed, gives you lots of feedback through that WP fork. Really good bike, really good design. From that front end, I really enjoyed it. It's very rangy and quite long, quite tall, you know, very light, obviously, in the low 300s for a twin. Second thing is that acceleration grip that you get, never mind the actual punch out of the corners from the 890 engine, but just the grip that thing generates, especially in the wet. You know, in the wet, it was just, you could just get on and go. I lost it going into the dip out. So basically, as I go there and get off the brakes and the thing rebounded, it just went aquaplane straight from under me and off I went. So that sucked. But look, yeah, the brakes are amazing. Acceleration grip is really good. You know exactly what the thing's doing on the side of the tire when you're mid corner. That's great as well. The engine, the KTM 890 engine, is just a gem. I love that thing. It's they said they dynoed 118 horsepower out of their bike, out of Kramer's bike, which is perfect. You know, like if you can't have fun on 118 horsepower, then you should probably think about doing something else. You don't need 200 horsepower to go fun. 118. Anyone from Taylor Knapp, who was out there riding with us, he came back with just the Joker face on him. He was just beaming. Loved the thing. 118 horsepower, bang on. Plenty fast enough. Really, really good time. Weak point is the gearbox. The gearbox needs to be fixed. I say it needs to be fixed, it just needs to be strengthened. So they explained this to me that it's a standard 890 gearbox, KTM 890 Ducar gearbox. Now, not really designed for racing. It's got the auto blipper and that on it. I didn't use the auto blipper a lot. I found it easier just to shift with the clutch on the downshift. But it doesn't shift as nicely as I would have liked, especially for a bike at that price. That is something that owners could potentially look at, or Kramer themselves in Germany could look at and say, all right, we're going to fix this because it kind of needs to be done for a bike of that price. But really, that's the only criticism I've got of the bike. It's a spectacular bike, and it's one of those bikes that you can have as a pet project bike. It's not going to become uncompetitive in the next 10 or so years when you consider the classes that it races in. So look guys, thanks to Joe and Brittany who bring in Kramer Motorcycles in the US. Marcus Kramer, you've got a good product there, mate. Really, really cool bike. Yeah, thanks also to Pirelli for giving us a couple of tyres and all that. Thanks to Armour as well for letting us have a ride on around here at the beautiful Barber Motorsports Park. I'm going to get another ride on this thing a little bit later, probably around January or so. We're going to do something at Chuckwalla, so I'll come in, I'll check in with you then. And that'll be cool because then we can put a comparison with real supersport bikes. I've ridden a supersport bike there in club racing. I've got a base time, and then I reckon I'm going to get right on that, on the Kramer, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway guys, please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, hit the bell button, and please leave your comments below. I will do absolutely my best to get back to you as soon as possible with any information that you want on this Kramer, because it's really, really, really cool. So yeah, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for the lack of overall video on this one. You know, it's only me. I'm literally doing it with a camcorder. So, but yeah, anyway guys, thanks again. I'll see you soon. Cheers.